This Swiss scientist claims there is a portal underneath CERN from where beings are coming in and out. The Swiss scientist claims CERN is working on secret nuclear program, and there is a portal underneath CERN from where entities are coming in and out into our dimension. Physicists who work there told her that there are 17 different dimensions of reality. Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger, Swiss scientist who claims CERN is working on a secret nuclear program, and there's a portal underneath CERN for where beings coming in and out into our dimension. And physicists who work there told her there are 17 different dimensions of reality and more. Stuckelberger is a scientist and expert in international health. She holds a PhD and teaches University of Geneva and Lausanne. With over 20 years of experience, she's a leading Swiss researcher who's worked with the WHO, the UN, and the European Union on various health programs, and that's what her LinkedIn profile says. She's done numerous interviews which add credibility to her profile. 2 years ago, Stuckelberger interviewed Maria Z on Z Media. This interview was published on Rumble, where she discussed many strange things, one of which was about CERN's terrifying experiments. Dr. Stuckelberger claims CERN is dealing with radionuclear research, and there are lots of physicists who are doing very strange experiments. And she said physicists from CERN told her there are beings from portals coming in and out into our dimensions. She said yes, and they were saying, I met them at the dinner, and they were two of them. Both said that yes, they have, secondhand proof that the people who they're dealing with the boson, Higgs boson particles and the subatomic particles. They've apparently, in the bottom of CERN, found this portal, this doorway, where they are dealing with all the subatomic dimensions. Stuckelberger further said, the physicists say there are 17 different dimensions of reality, and that's what these physicists and some others say. There are dimensions. We know the time-space tridimensional XYZ in a graphic, but then you have more dimensions, and they're playing with that. They're using that, and they were a group, and they had a being, one of these entities. They did not tell me more about who came into our materialistic plane. That does not resemble a human. And then they had another one, and they had proof because they left a scarf. And now, when you look at what's going on in CERN, there is a fight from some of the military agencies and intel. They said there is a fight on time. They're trying to change time. I'm just saying that because as a scientist, you cannot say something so important, because if you can deal with the little, smallest energies on Earth, you can imagine that you can go through other realms of dimensions, she says. Stuckelberger claims are bizarre, and we have no proof to accept or deny them. The stories of interdimensional portals are primarily discussed in fiction, but some concepts in science touch on similar ideas. Scientists discuss wormholes, theoretical structures in space-time that could, according to some interpretations of general relativity and string theory, potentially connect distant points in the universe or even different dimensions through a tunnel-like passage. Perhaps there are different life forms on the other side, we don't know. Professor Dr. Michio Kaku explains the concept of the multiverse, saying there are invisible creatures among us, perhaps a portal can make a way for them. And regarding Dr. Stuckelberger's claims, we found strangely similar stories posted on Reddit by a user claimed to be the top scientist at CERN around 5 years ago, and we don't want you to take it seriously, but it does align with what Stuckelberger claims. The story was published with 18 million subscribers, and synopsis of the user's post says a serious mistake may have endangered humanity. The scientist team worked with the Large Hadron Collider, LHC, to study particles. On March 22, 2019, a small error in the LHC startup code led to an unusual yellow light filling the facility. The team noticed a dark, otherworldly orb that quickly vanished. Subsequent experiments with similar orbs led to dangerous results. A metal pen tested in one of the voids showed extremely high radiation. Drones sent into the void lost connection instantly. In recent tests, instead of the expected light, a large black figure emerged from the void and communicated telepathically. And it threatened to destroy humanity by invading their world. This incident happened recently. As the situation is dire, there is concern for the safety of many. And they said a black figure started to emerge from the large void. Although very humanoid, this thing was anything but human. It was featureless. It gave off strong vibrations and was so massive it had to duck to exit the void. Many researchers broke down at the sight of this thing, and then it spoke. We heard it as clear as day in our heads. We all heard the blistering static sound as words began to play inside our minds. You creatures, the being said, have no place peering into our world. Your destruction was set in stone the moment you opened up the doorway into our dimension. We will exterminate your kind as your knowledge of our existence threatens us, and this is not a warning but a promise, the creature said. And in the 2022 Vice published in the article CERN causing collective mass delusion by creating portals to alternative dimensions, the theory states that in 2012, CERN scientists were attempting to study the Higgs boson particle when something went wrong, and according to theory of their experiments, caused a rift in the space-time continuum, destroying our universe and moving us into a parallel universe. The theory concludes that the current universe we inhabit is not our own, but rather an experimental universe belonging to some unknown entity. This entity, believed, is manipulating the universe to study the effects of their experiments. This is the cause of the Mandela effect and other paranormal activities. Clara Nellis, a particle physicist who works at CERN's Atlas, explained this phenomenon and said she understands where the people are coming from. As she said, I completely get the curiosity and trying to understand the Mandela effects. People have a strong memory of what they think something was, and then to see a contrast with that memory can be quite jarring. Nellis said that while the CERN scientists is doing what they're doing at the LHC is groundbreaking, they're simply creating collisions that happen in our atmosphere all the time in a controlled environment. For billions of years, this has been happening in our universe, she said. The question that theoretical physicists are trying to answer are in some ways related to the questions that conspiracy theorists and hobby researchers are trying to answer, though they are going about it in widely different ways. Legitimate scientists, quantum physicists, and theoretical physicists have hypothesized multiverses, multiple universes, wormholes, teleportation, the idea that reality is a simulation, additional dimensions, and so on, learning more about basic physics to fill in gaps in knowledge and understanding how some of these phenomena may work is part of CERN's mission. But that does not mean CERN is causing these things to happen. And this is on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.